Welcome back everybody to our English class. Today let us start our next topic lesson. Before I start, I just want to ask you, have you noticed birds around you? Yeah. So, what are the common birds that we see around us? We see pigeons, sparrows, crows, and sometimes these are very common, the pigeons, the sparrows, the crows, these are all very common. We also sometimes are able to see eagles also. Why I am talking about birds? The lesson that we are doing today is your third chapter. It's called the autobiography of a great Indian bustard. So, what is an autobiography? It is when you talk about your own self. So, what this author has done, this Dr. Patil, he has written this lesson as if the bird himself or herself is talking about its own life. So, that is why it is called an autobiography. So, it's when you say autobiography, you use the first person. First person will be I, me, myself. So, let us see what this lesson is about. This talks of the bird called the great Indian bustard. This is basically a bird which is the state bird of Rajasthan. So, let us see some of the and they live in grasslands and in deserts. So, let us see some of the physical features of the bird. Of this great Indian bustard. So, as I said, it is the state bird of Rajasthan and they are 4 feet in height. Next, they weigh about 18 kgs. So, their weight is 18 kilos. They have a long white neck. They have brown wings. They have tall yellow legs. They have a black cap on the head. So, now all these features they belong to the male bird. The female bird is a little smaller and her neck is not white. So, all these apply to the male bird. The female bird is smaller. And her neck is not white. So, now let us see where they live, what they eat, how their young ones grow up, all those different things. So, let us see what they eat. Before I tell you what they eat, I want to talk to you about herbivorous animals, carnivorous animals and omnivorous animals. So, I hope you have taken a note of this. The physical features: the great Indian bustard, 4 feet in height, 18 kilos in weight, long white neck, brown wings, tall yellow legs, black cap on the head. As I said, these all belong to the male species of the bird. The female is much smaller compared to the male bustard, and her neck is not white. Now, I want to talk to you about what a herbivorous animal is. So, these are plant eating animals or birds. So, some of the examples of a herbivorous animal would be a cow, a goat, buffalo, sheep, etc. Elephants, they eat sugarcane, you know that, right? So, these are all herbivorous, they eat only plant food. Then we have the carnivorous. These carnivorous animals or birds eat only animal meat. So, some of the examples would be a lion, a tiger, leopard, cheetah. So, their main food will be another animal, and I will tell you why I am talking to you about this. So, we have two different kinds of eating in our animal kingdom. One is the herbivorous, plant eating. The examples are cow, goat, buffalo, sheep, elephants. Another is a carnivorous, where they eat the meat of another animal. Example, lion, tiger, leopard, cheetah. Now, we have another set of animals or birds that eat both. What does both mean? They eat both the plants and the animal meat or flesh. So, they eat both. So, these are called omnivorous. Those animals or birds are called omnivores. So, the examples of such animals are pigs, bear, and I will tell you in a minute why I am talking about this to you. Squirrels, chimpanzees, so these eat both the plant food and the animal food. Now, our great Indian bustard is an omnivore. It likes to eat both plant and animals. So, let us see some of the animals that they like to feed upon. They eat snakes, lizards, insects, and they love grasshoppers and beetles, but they also eat small fruits and berries. So, the great Indian bustard is an omnivore. So, they eat both kinds of plant food and animal food. So, they have 30 different names. The great Indian bustard has 30 different names in 30 different languages. In Marathi, they are called Maldhok or Whom. So, this is in Marathi. So, that is what the great Indian bustard is called. Now, let us see how their little ones are born and how they grow up. So, the great Indian bustard, they live in grasslands. Grasslands are pastures of land where you have lot of greenery, open land. It is on the countryside, and what happens here in grasslands is the climate is humid and moist. That is where the great Indian bustard lives. So, grasslands are they are moist, the climate, and they are humid. So, what happens is, because of the moisture, the grass grows very tall and it is very fertile, and that is how the great Indian bustard lives in grasslands. So, now let us see about the what happens when it rains. So, the grasslands become even more greener, even more there is more moisture. At this time, the author says, talking in the first person as the bird, that he or she as the bustard loves to dance during rains. So, when it rains, the bustard loves to dance, and it likes to make a sound, just like you have the cows that say moo. The great Indian bustard makes a sound called So, that is when the rainy seasons come. So, now let us look at the young ones of the bird. Normally, we think that birds build nests and lay their eggs in the nest. But in the case of a great Indian bustard, they do not build a nest, they lay the mummy, the bird lays the eggs in on the ground directly. So, the egg is not laid in any nest or something, it is laid directly on the ground. But then there is a problem, right? There are, I told you, there are some carnivorous animals, some omnivorous other animals like lizards, foxes, dogs, pigs, snakes and eagles of course, who would love to eat the eggs of this bird. So, what happens then, because they have not built a nest? There is a trick here. The way the egg is laid is, the egg looks like a stone. So, because it looks like a stone, the predators or the enemies of the bird will not be able to find out that it is a little bird egg there. So, what happens is, normally after the egg is laid, it normally hatches during monsoons. So, monsoons are the time when the grasslands become even more greener, and there is lot more food at that time for the birds. So, at this time when the little eggs hatch, the little birdlings have a lot of food, and in the case of other birds, they fly away very quickly, but in the case of the bustard, it stays with the mother for a very long time, almost a year. So, because of this, it learns a lot of tricks from its mother and lot of defense mechanisms and all that. Now, let us see what is the condition of the bustard in our Indian context. What the bustard is saying is, right now because of man, because of human population, man has driven away the bustard from its home. Where is its home? In grasslands, in the desert. So, as man has occupied the earth more and more, the population of the bustard has come down. Why? How? Because for one thing, hunters hunt them down, so they are killed. Another reason why they are killed is when they fly, they do not know the electric poles will kill them. So, they cannot, when they are just flying, when they hit the electric pole, they will die due to the electric shock, that current that is running in those lines. So, these are the two major reasons that the bustard has, the population of the bustard has come down and they have died. So, at the end of the lesson, the bustard, what it is telling us is, please save us. So, right now there are about 150 to 200 bustards in the country, and that too they live in the sanctuaries. What is a sanctuary? You have heard of wildlife sanctuary? It is a wild reserve, or it is a preservation place. It is like a conservation park. So that they are protected, it is within a protected environment. So, now the few bustards that we have, the population of this bird, they live in sanctuaries. We have 10 sanctuaries in India where this bird lives right now. So, as we come to the end of the lesson, the bird is requesting us to help it live. That is, it is asking us to talk to our civil authorities, talk to our leaders in our community and request them so that we can help the bird to live and not get extinct. What is the meaning of extinct? To be completely wiped away. So, it is saying, talk to your leaders in your community, talk to your leaders in your locality, talk to your leaders in your state and help us live. Write a letter, help us to not become extinct. This brings us to the end of the lesson, but I would like to quickly do a chart with you. So, let us do that. This chart is basically your question number 5 on page 8, and there they have given us some statements and we have to select if they belong to the great Indian bustard or if they belong to some other bird. So, let us do question number 5 on page 8. So, first we have a statement. And then we have a column for great Indian bustard, or if it is another bird. So, what is the first one? The first one says, I am the heaviest flying bird in India. Yes, this is true. We saw that it weighs 18 kilos. So, this belongs to the great Indian bustard. I will put a check mark here. Second one, I am known as Maldok or whom in Marathi. So, is that right? Yes. So, that is right. So, you put a check against the Great Indian Bustard. The third one, I live in mountainous regions. Let me erase this. I hope you have written this down. So, the third one is I live in mountainous regions. Is that right? No, that is wrong. They live in grasslands and deserts. So, that has to be some other bird. So, we check against some other bird. The fourth one is I don't like grasshoppers or beetles. Is that right? No, because we saw that grasshoppers or beetles are its favorite food. So, we will check against the other bird. Fifth one, we don't believe in building nests. Yes, that is true. Remember, it lays the egg directly on the ground, not in a nest. So, we do not believe in building nests. Yes, that is the Great Indian Bustard. You check against that. Our chick stays with the mother for a period of nearly 1 year. The sixth one. Is that right? Yes, that is right. So, it stays almost an entire year, unlike the other birds which fly away very soon. It stays for almost an year with its mother. I am the state bird of Maharashtra. Is that right? No, it is the state bird of Rajasthan. So, what you will do? I am the state bird of Maharashtra, you will check under other bird. Next one, we have been pushed away from more than 90% of our home regions. Is that right? Yes, that is right. Remember, the bird said they are living in sanctuaries now. There are 10 sanctuaries in India and there are only about 200 of them alive now. So, we have been pushed away from more than 90% of our home regions. Yes, that is the Great Indian Bustard. That brings us to the end of this lesson. So, I will just conclude the chapter. Thank you.